Hi, I'm Vera.
And I'm Spaghetti Spaghetti.
If you've been watching our recent videos, you know that we're currently compiling all slideshows of our past cycling adventures and turning them into videos to share many of the memories we've gathered with friends, family, and anyone who might find inspiration in our experiences over the years.
Besides that, we thought it would be fun and productive to make these videos during the dark winter months. A way to survive the winter blues, which can be very hard to avoid, especially where we live in the northeast of Switzerland, where each day seems to present itself in a different shade of grey, depending on whether it's cloudy or foggy. Of course, we do cycle in winter, but we mostly keep it to a necessity.
Making videos has turned out to be even more fun than we expected. Not just going through the pictures and laughing at funny moments.
No, there are far too many to share all of them.
Not only have we enjoyed that, but doing background research, figuring out what to say and what to leave out, and all the editing has been just as intriguing.
After diving into this endeavour, we decided to continue. We've now arrived at our fifth episode, and it's now definitely evolving into a series. We feel committed to covering all the trips we've done so far, no matter how short or long they were. As we get more into producing videos, we'd like to include much more footage on our future trips and start thinking about video as we cycle along.
Because until now, we've mostly focused on taking photos for our own pleasure. We might even branch out a bit and produce reports on the best places we've discovered, so you can include them into your own cycling plans. But before that day comes, there's a lot we still need to learn about content creation. We're progressing step by step or video by video and treating this as a long process, acquiring new skills as we go along.
This is much like when we started cycling. Each trip gave us the opportunity to learn not only about the places we visited and the equipment we needed, but also to gain confidence and experience and start developing personal styles and recognizing our own preferences. One thing we've learned is that there are many ways to approach long distance cycling, just as there are many ways to create video content, and the number of different formats is almost infinite. Well, maybe the diversity of ways to cycle long distances is a bit more restricted in comparison, but I hope you get my point.
The last trip we did to Alsace made that obvious, as it was split between two very different styles. On the first part, from Basel to Strasbourg, we gently strolled from village to village, town to town. On the second part, we hit our stride and cycled back in half the time. We thoroughly enjoyed the first part, especially as the advantages of traveling by bike came to light, like being able to directly access city centers and pedestrian zones, and stopping wherever we like to take pictures without having to find free parking.
And saving a lot of money in the process.
Well, in fact, this was pretty chill.
However, we also really enjoyed cycling along the canal on the way back home, but that offered a completely different experience, as the long ribbon of asphalt ahead of us seemed endless. Here, we weren't on the lookout for the next castle tower or church spire, frequently stopping for photos. Here, the mind started to wander, eyes fixed ahead, only distracted by the odd duck splashing in the water or birds circling in the sky. The foliage swept past out of the corner of the eye. The body became detached from the mind, rhythmically cycling on automatic. Blood pumped through the veins, breath heightened, but not panting. Do this for a few days on end, and a sort of magical quality emerges, leading to flow states, heightened awareness, and a feeling of self-gravitation. Yet, this only began to unfold towards the end of our trip, leaving us eager to continue, but sadly, time was up, and it would be another 2 months until we could spare a further 4 days to prepare for the long trip we had planned for summer. So, we were ripped out of our bliss.
However, we had discovered a lovely stretch of web along the Rhine-Rhône Canal, which was very similar to where we had left off. So we decided to return to Mulhouse and follow that route. 2 days towards the west and 2 days back again. So here's where we went.
After leaving Mulhouse, we followed the canal to Montbéliard, where the canal meets the Doubs River and both waterways run parallel. We then continued on to Besançon, the capital of the Franche-Comté region, where we turned around and cycled back.
If you saw our last video, you remember that we visited one of Vauban's impressive fortifications. And we had promised to show you another one in this video. 100 meters above the city of Besançon stands a citadel, not only offering protection to the city, but also serving as an outpost to guard the French kingdom.
Vauban was undoubtedly one of the most illustrious personalities of his era. But, as we already introduced him in the last video, I'd like to introduce you to some of the residents who have replaced the soldiers and mercenaries that once lived within the fortress walls. Geladas.
These baboons normally live in herds of up to 300 individuals, split into bands and groups, which means they have a very complex social structure. They are native to the Ethiopian islands, though they probably feel quite at home on the steep rocky slopes supporting the citadel's walls. Though they are by no means the most docile of animals, screaming and shouting with a wide array of squeaks, barks, and growls, their diet is relatively harmless, as they mainly eat grass. I find this fascinating, as their strong teeth, which they often display as a sign of aggression, might suggest they would be bloodthirsty carnivores. In fact, several monkey and baboon species live within the compound, along with blue tarantulas, lemurs, vipers, wild boars, hamsters, and many other animals, both exotic and local. I'm not sure if they all get along, but all the species are on the endangered list and are kept for breeding and reintroduction programs, like the torrent crayfish or spotted salamanders. As a teacher of environmental issues, I take great interest in such programs and could go on a tangent about them. But since there's also a lovely view of the city from the citadel, I'll focus on that now.
Besançon is home to 120,000 people, with just over 280,000 living in the metropolitan area. Founded in 58 BC by the Romans, who named it Besançon, the city was strategically located where the Doubs River forms a loop, and it had even been a Bronze Age settlement. Situated at the foot of the Jura Mountains, Besançon was always of military importance. It was first called Besançon in 1243, so it has a rich medieval history and has transformed many times over the centuries. The founding of the university in 1423 is just one indication of its cultural heritage.
Today, the economy is centered around microtechnologies and fine watches. and it is considered the greenest city in France. When we visited, a new tramway had just opened and the city boasts a good network of cycling routes, including one that flanks a canal which passes through a 390-meter-long tunnel beneath the Citadelle. This tunnel was built in 1878 and was one of the last features added to the canal network that crisscrosses the country.
Cycling along the canal to get there was great, and we really enjoyed cycling back to where we had started, not stopping for photos.
No, this trip had given us just a taste of things to come. A month later, we set out on our expedition to Finistère, which translates to the end of the world, to visit our holiday friends, and then to rejoin them in the south of France. That was going to be a very long trip indeed, which was equally full of hardships and magical moments. And we hope you join us again in the next video, so we can share them with you.
So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button.
And don't forget to subscribe, so you don't miss out on the next one. So we look forward to seeing you soon again. Until then, thanks for watching and bye bye!